whatever you feel, I feel it too. You're a part of me. I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. We are all connected, heart to heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? Anything you're praying for, when fear gets in the way, I'll be here to listen to anything you need to say. Your prayer is my prayer too. Your prayer is my prayer too. Whatever you feel, I feel it too. You're a part of me. I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. I hear your worries, the ones that are in the way. I just can't take your pain away, but I can show you how to reconnect with that sweet, deep voice inside. Let the angels flow love all around you. Let Spirit be your guide. Your prayer is my prayer too. Your prayer is my prayer too. Wherever you feel, I feel it too. You're a part of me, I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. How about if I sing it and you just sing your prayer is my prayer too right after me? Should we try it? Let me give it a shot and you sing right after me. Your prayer is my prayer too. Your turn. Here we go. Your prayer is my prayer too. Gorgeous. I'll try another one. Here we go. Your prayer is my prayer too. Sing it right back to me. Here we go. And your prayer is my prayer too. I'm gonna sing it one more time. Your prayer is my prayer too. Let me know it how you feel. Here we go. Your prayer is my prayer too. And I'll take us to the end. Whatever you feel, you know I feel it too. You're a part of me, I'm a part of you. Last one, here we go. Your prayer is my prayer too.
Please join me in prayer. There's one perfect life, and that life is God. That life belongs to each and every one of us in this space, within the sound of my voice, everywhere across the universe. We are so blessed to be able to come together to celebrate compassion in action, to know that through our choices, we can create a world that works. living in this world, living by these principles that we learn, living in this way of life that is so infinitely wonderful in every way. I give thanks for everyone who's come together to make this service possible, for all the beautiful expressions of the divine that are here to celebrate our oneness, to celebrate our divinity, and to celebrate life as it is. I know that everything that takes place here today will be absolutely perfect in every way. And as Spirit speaks through Reverend Chris, we will hear everything that we need to hear to empower us to express in our own unique ways, as only each and every one of us could according to our gifts. I am thankful for this charge, thankful for each and every one of you in your divinity. And I release these words into that divine law that knows how to bring about all the good there is everywhere, all the time, right here and right now. I let this go, I let it be, and together we affirm, and so it is. All right. Well, this Dalai Lama, His Holiness the Dalai Lama is a really very smart guy, very loving guy, very funny guy, very humorous guy. I think his most fun book is the book he wrote with Desmond Tutu, The Book of Joy. And if you get the audio version, it's even better because you hear the back and forth. And it's just wonderful. And he has wonderful nuggets for us here. So my first thought from the Dalai Lama says, as far as their attitude is concerned, someone might be negative toward you, but you don't think about that. You think that your enemy is also a sentient being and also wants happiness and has every right to overcome suffering. In this way, you develop a genuine sense of concern for their well-being. That is unbiased compassion, real compassion. In order to develop that, we must practice on the basis of detachment, then equalize ourselves with every other sentient being, both friends and enemies. From seeing that everyone has the same right to overcome suffering, we then develop a sense of concern. That's unbiased love. That's real love. Our second thought from the Dalai Lama says, I'm a part of the humanity, so my happy future entirely depends on the rest of humanity. No matter if one single person is powerful or very rich, he is still part of humanity. If humanity is happy, peaceful, and more compassionate, then everybody gets the benefit. And now, in the modern economy, there's no real boundary, no religious boundary. And finally, from our founder, the Honorable Dr. Ernest Holmes, the Bible tells us that the world is not afar off, but in our own mouth. It is neither here nor there. It is within every living soul. We must take responsibility for our own lives. All must awake to the fact that they have absolute control over their lives and that nothing can happen by chance. Then they will have a broader concept of God, a greater tolerance for their neighbor, and a greater realization of their own divine nature.
Great afternoon, everybody. Thank you. I'm so happy to be back here. Okay, so today we are compassion in action, living love in the world. So I really like that this one fell on my week because that's what I talk about all the time, is how do we create that change in the world? It happens, one person at a time, one thought at a time, one kind action at a time. And so, taking love into the world, to me, I feel it's a fairly easy concept. Like if I say, what can you do to bring more love into the world? What can you do? Does anybody have an answer they want to shout out? Love. Give love. Love yourself. Thank people for their service. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. Like, in our everyday world, what can we do just to bring a little kindness, a little love wherever we go? And lots of ideas came up. And so I think that's how easy it is. So I don't think that's the hard part. What I think is the hard part is our blind spots. And it's been, a good couple of weeks. And I love it because the universe, ask and you shall receive. So when I'm like, what kind of blind spots can we think about? And that's where I'm going today. So, when I first thought of this idea, like, where are the blind spots? This happened, it was several years ago, and I was, standing around, we're talking with coworkers, and, about our home life or whatever, and something came up, and I'm like, I felt bad, I got, activated, and I lost my temper, and somebody's like, wait, Chris, you? And I'm like, oh, yeah, like, dude, you never lose your temper, you never. And so, like, I'm like, but no, it's always the people closest to us that see the full package of who we are, which, so those that we love the most sometimes are the ones that get the worst of us. And they were, kind of surprised because in those cases, with my coworkers, it's easy. Like, I want to show up with love. And so my patients, like, I'm not as emotionally attached, and so it's easy to live that world in the love until something happens. And so what came to me this week, I'm like, that's perfect. That'll be my example. I just recently started a new job, and there's a bit of a drive. And so I'm driving north on I-25. I have to get off on Santa Fe and immediately get into the left lane to turn left on Alameda. Yeah. And so it's a tight turnaround as it is. It's only about a block and a half, if even that, to try to get, across 4 lanes of traffic during rush hour that it's just packed. And add to it, 2 of the lanes, or maybe even 3, it gets down to like 1 lane right at Alameda before, because of some construction. So that adds even more tension. So I'm trying to make my way all the way across, and I'm relying on the good actions of other individuals. And, at this time, too, like the stoplights, I think we sat through like maybe 4. It's like only a couple cars get their chance to go. And so I'm making my way across, and this person, like, okay, they're not going to let me in. I've got my blinker. I'm looking back, trying to make eye contact, like, is somebody going to let me in? This person, no. I'm like, okay. This third guy, he's got to do it. He's so stoic. He's like, not going to look at me. And he is not letting like an inch get between his bumper and the car in front of him. There's no way he is going to let me in. So in my head, you blink. That's where my mind went. And it's like psychic daggers. I'm like, you blink. I called them a name that I would never say out loud to somebody when I'm trying to be kind in the world. But it was there. And I'm like, that's my blind spot. I can set that intention in the morning to go out into the world and be kindness, but it all falls apart if I don't plan ahead for those blind spots. I just sitting here earlier today, or while we were introducing, I'm like, oh, that quote would be good. I thought of a Mike Tyson quote of all quotes, and he said, "Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face." All bets are off. I mean, something that can literally like just throw you off so perfectly. That's our blind spots. So what I want to talk about here, when they say happiness is a choice, a lot of times that refers to like when life gives you the lemons, you make the choice to make the lemonade. So you make a choice like, okay, so all this is happening, and it's not something that brings me happiness, but happiness is a choice, so I'm going to choose happiness. I want to talk about making the choice before the lemons come your way. So setting up in the morning. I like to plan ahead. I'm gonna be peace in this world, but creating this talk and reading through the Dalai Lama book, I was inspired by what came up, of reminding me like it's those blind spots. That's where like actual growth and actual change comes from. So having that intention, and depending where we're at too, because we're all at different places on our journey, and every journey winds differently. So for some, I remember when just setting that intention to always find a smile out in the world, to treat people with dignity and respect, especially when things don't go my way. That was early on in my journey. And I'm definitely not saying don't do that. I think that's where, I love Centers for Spiritual Living, and I feel like a large portion, if you've been coming here for a while, you're already doing that, and you're also probably seeing how your life just naturally goes better when you do come from that place. You receive, what we put out there, we receive. And so as you're intending and living it to give smiles out in the world, a natural consequence is those smiles come back to us and people do nice things. But talking about like making that choice for those moments when the blind spots come up, that's where the power is. When you do something that's out of your norm. So we do that, taking the kindness into the world, but then to truly change the world, it's in those moments for ourselves that aren't our natural way of being. So we are noticing the places like, like I got triggered by that driver that was just adamant. He was not going to let me in. And when that happened, I realized I called him that name, but in his mind, he's like not looking at me, but he's thinking probably the same thing. Like, dude, you're waiting, you're trying to expect me to get in here. Like he was probably sending psychic daggers my way as well. But I wouldn't have thought that if I wasn't working on this talk. So it's those moments where we do something out of our habitual way of thinking that shift the world. That's where the power is. So I'm going to bring a technique into it. This technique, the first time I heard about it, it's very similar to concepts that Ernest Holmes and the Science of Mind have taught. We talk about affirmative prayer. And that means, we are praying for what we want to see as opposed to praying to remove what we don't want to see. We talk about, like, I don't want to give energy to that which I don't want to see in the world. I want to give energy to what I do want to see in the world. So this technique almost runs a little counter to it. I learned about this technique. It was called the Happiness Course. It's what it used to be. If you want to find it, it's a free course at Coursera. It's the most popular class at Yale, and it's a positive psychology, kind of following that same idea at Harvard. But you can get this course for free, and I did it several years ago, but man, the information, the techniques, it was powerful. And it's just amazing. You could do it for free on Coursera is the platform. But she brought in, and she had the psychologist that coined this phrase. It's WOOP, W-O-O-P. And it stands for wish, outcome, obstacle, and plan. And the story that Lori Santos is the professor of the course that she used was Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer with all the medals. His training, he does a lot of work about visualization, a lot of the work that we do here. He wants to, so he, envisions himself thousands of times doing his races, his relays, all of it. He mentally rehearses over and over and over again. We know basketball players do it with their free throws and on and on. But whoever his coach was that was working with him brought in this WOOP technique. So he's got his wish is to win the race. He's got the outcome. So he'll visualize it going perfectly, visualize himself up on the podium getting the medal, all of those things. You incorporate as many senses as you can to really live it before it happens. But where this training is a little different, maybe a little contrary to Ernest Holmes, is he also visualized the obstacles, what could go wrong. And if something goes wrong, what am I going to do when that happens? So it's not that we're trying to manifest it. It's just that, we're human. I know I've got blind spots that I'm still discovering all the time. And so planning ahead, like, okay, so in the morning, if I'm going to plan my drive ahead, if I'm going to plan how I want to be in the world, I can ask myself, like, what possible things might come up that are going to punch me in the face and throw me off a little bit? And what will I do when that happens? So the Michael Phelps story, one of his races, he jumped in and instantly his goggles malfunctioned. And so he didn't know what to do. Well, he did know what to do because he had mentally rehearsed it over and over again. So it didn't take like even a split second to say, what do I do? How do I compensate? What do I have to think about? He already knew. He had mentally rehearsed it so many times that he just kicked into that drive. Like, okay, I can't see, so I'm just going to, whatever techniques or tricks he did that helped keep himself straight and moving forward, he did it. He gets to the end of the race. He pulls his goggles off, throws them down on the edge of the pool. He's like, oh, just so mad at himself, to where he looks up, and the coach is over there like really excited, like, dude. And he's like, I blew it, man. What are you excited? Why are you happy? He's like, you just broke your record. You just set a world record. So his best race was one that would have thrown him off, but he planned ahead, that whoop technique. So there's powerful techniques that just requires our intentions. So that's for our week ahead as we are going to look at taking love into the world. I want to encourage us, starting the days off, setting that intention of like, how can I be loving in the world? And then thinking ahead. Like for me, when I talked about with my colleagues where I was talking about losing my temper at home. That's one that I can always anticipate at some point during the day or during the week. Usually, helping my son with homework. That one really challenges me, and it really challenges him. So two of us in our blind spots, it's a recipe for disaster. But, again, that's why I'm so grateful that you invite me to speak, because that's what really gives me the opportunities to remind myself to bring it back in. That process, it's over and over and over again that I slowly discover my blind spots. And I caught myself, earlier in the week around Wednesday working with him, and he was at his limit. And I was just about to feed it back to him the same way. I'm the adult. Like, I should be able to know a little better and keep my cool a little bit better. But I can help myself do that by starting off my day, doing that, like visualizing my day ahead, thinking about where the opportunities that I don't recognize, but I visualize that when they come up, that something reminds me. What do you want to be? What do you want to be in the world? What are you doing? And when I can remember those in the moments like that is where our power is. So with that, taking love and compassion into the world, I'm going to go ask us to go inside and do a little prayer. And at that same time, a little visualization. Just roll with me, as comfortable as you are. I am always hesitant, and I hear myself, when I feel like I'm being bossy. I don't want to tell anybody what to do. So just where you resonate. If this resonates with you, explore with me. Find, what fits right for you, because the last thing we need is other people telling us what to do, and we certainly don't need more people judging us. We can do that enough on our own, and hopefully we learn how to do that with more kindness and compassion. So wherever you're willing to. Well, I guess right before, I do have one quote that I wanted to reference. This came from Erik Erikson, who was one of the earlier psychoanalysts, like around the early, he was born in 1902. But the quote is, "The more you know yourself, the more patience you have for what you see in others." That driver, I called him that name. I wouldn't see that if it wasn't within me too. And so when I can see it and work on it myself, areas that I've worked on in the past, they seem to stop happening as soon as I really accept it about myself and work through it. And I always wonder, like, does it really stop happening? Or is it just that the resistance isn't there anymore? And so when it does, it just kind of passes right through me. The driving, I reference driving all the time because I used to be a lot different driver than I am, but I still have blind spots and weaknesses there too, which, as Brene Brown says, they're not our weaknesses. They're our areas for growth. And without them, we'd get bored anyway. So I got to be grateful for everything that comes my way. Okay, so I just invite you, however you like to kind of go within, to just settle in this space. As the Dalai Lama, showed us in this book, compassion it's a practice. It's not an end destination. It's something that we continually nurture. So in your mind's eye, I invite you to see if there's any memories of where somebody showed you compassion. Maybe at a moment where you don't necessarily felt like you deserved it. Or maybe you bring up an image of when compassion became visible in your world. Maybe you witnessed somebody having compassionate actions towards another, when it seemed out of what we would call the normal or the general reaction that we would expect when an act of compassion was unexpected. The ones that we receive ourselves are so wonderful, and the only thing I can think of that's even more wonderful is when we provide that compassion to another when they're not expecting it, when they're expecting that same resistance or vitriol, when we can live our truth and show up with compassion in a moment of challenge. So thinking of the week ahead, the days ahead, the moments, maybe from something from the days behind. Was there a moment where your knee-jerk reaction was not that compassion? A moment where something was able to disturb your vibe, your intention to be love and peace in the world, until something happened or something might happen. Where is one area that you can think of? Spirit whispers to us. I'm guessing most people already have something coming to mind. Is there one place where you would like to remember next time it happens to be that love and compassion? And I invite you to bring it up to the forefront of your mind's eye. And drawing from that place in the center of your chest where you feel gratitude for that time that you were shown compassion or forgiveness or patience. And drawing from that same feeling, can we be that when this blind spot comes into our awareness and our experience? What does that feel like? How does it feel different than that initial good feeling, that endorphin rush you might get when you allow yourself to respond angrily, but that quickly dissolves from a good feeling and leaves you feeling remorseful or maybe even resenting feelings? How does it feel different when you make a conscious choice to be that love in action in the world and allow that feeling to permeate? Does it have any sounds that accompany it? Maybe just a gentle sigh or a feeling of relief, a sound of relief. Maybe with our eyes, it's a smile of somebody recognizing, like, I was just given a free pass there. Thank you. allowing all of our senses best we can to feel that, embody that compassion that we are, and knowing that when we choose that, Spirit shows up. Spirit gives us more strength, more resilience, more understanding, still enabling to speak our truths, but doing it in a more compassionate way that softens the ears of others to hear things that they may not hear if it was delivered a different way. So I invite us to think about that power greater than ourselves, the physical manifestation that is this universe, working in its perfection and harmony, its naturally beauty that just inspires us, reminds us that we are part of something so big and so beautiful, and know that that beauty is right there in the center of your being, just wishing to be expressed through you, and that only you can express it in your own unique ways and everyone else in theirs. So I affirm and avow by acknowledging that we are that, and the thoughts that we hold created our reality. So I recognize that Spirit is bringing us those thoughts. Spirit is bringing us recognition of our growing edges, of where we can learn and grow and shift out of our normal way of being, and the ripples will be felt, are being felt already in mind throughout this world as we create a world that works for everyone. I affirm and avow that Spirit carries us. I affirm and avow that it whispers to us. And I affirm and avow that we are able to hear it more and more every day through our intentions. So throughout the approaching holiday season, throughout the year, through the challenges that everyone is facing on a continual basis, may we be love and love be us. So I just offer gratitude. I invite you to open up the feelings of thankfulness into your heart for this wonderful world that we are part of, and for the inspiration that guides us and leads us and brings us these opportunities. So even holding gratitude for the challenges, the obstacles that come across our path, and gratitude for knowing a plan in advance. So with that gratitude for the law that works on our behalf, I say thank you, Spirit, for always being there for us. And I release these words knowing that in the mind of Spirit, it's already done. So now I simply get to experience life in grander and grander ways. And if you're with me on that, please join me as we affirm it by saying, and so it is. So, thank you, everybody.